Are you feeling a little overwhelmed and anxious about your up and coming CQC interview? Or perhaps you just want to know what the interview entails so that you are prepared when it is your time? Then don't worry, I've got you covered. In today's video, we'll walk through everything you need to know to nail that interview and show the CQC you're the competent, compassionate leader your service needs. Stick around and I'll also tell you how you can join our exclusive registered manager workshop at the end of next month. Hi, I'm Cherish and I am a registered social worker with 20 years experience in the care sector. I'm also a registered manager as well as an owner of a home care agency, as well as other businesses within the sector and beyond. I've helped countless of care business owners and registered managers successfully prepare for their CQC interviews and inspections. If you're ready to step into that room with confidence, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Grab your notebook, grab a cup of tea or coffee, and let's get into it. So we're going to start the presentation and we're going to go through the things that you need to prepare for your CQC interview as a registered manager. Preparing for your interview is more than rehearsing and memorizing by heart the key questions. As the registered manager, you need to really understand your role in the organization. You know that you play a crucial role in ensuring the smooth running of the service. You are leading the team and maintaining high standards of care. You ensure, as the registered manager, that the service is meeting the regulatory obligations that it needs to meet. The CQC will expect you to demonstrate that you are a strong leader who understands these responsibilities and that you can provide safe, effective, and compassionate care. And here is how to get ready for that interview. So you are going to need to demonstrate that you know your service inside and out. The CQC will expect you to have a comprehensive understanding of the service. This means that you will need to be familiar with your statement of purpose. You will need to know the policies and procedures like the back of your hand. If you've watched any of my policy and procedures videos, as well as other registered manager videos that I've done, I have really stressed the importance of reading policies and procedures and making sure that they are tailored for your service. A lot of people purchase policies and procedures, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I've said that time and time again. My service also provides policies and procedures. So people purchase policies and procedures from my service. I also support people in developing their own policies and procedures. And anyone who has worked with me, and as I said, listen to my other content, I always stress the importance of reading those policies and procedures because your policies and procedures are the backbone of your service. If you do not understand and know your policies and procedures and they are not tailored to your service, it's not going to work, right? So it's imperative that you know your policies and procedures like the back of your hand. If there's nothing else that you get from this video, it is to know your policies and procedures. If you know your policies and procedures, and obviously they have been constructed in a robust manner, linked with policy, linked with legislation, linked with regulations, then if you just simply study those policies and procedures, you are 80% of the way there. Because if you understand them like the back of your hand, everything else will essentially happen naturally, will happen organically. You will be able to really demonstrate a comprehensive understanding of your service. You want to ensure that you understand the team structure, staff qualifications, and you want to have a clear grasp on how you manage risks and incidents. Okay, you want to be talking about audits. You want to know what happens in near misses. You want to demonstrate that you are able to learn from incidents, that you're able to constantly adapt and improve and have a proactive attitude to improving your service. The key areas of focus in your interview that you really want to pay attention to are in your staffing and recruitment. So you want to ensure that you have robust recruitment processes in place. So this is things of safer recruitment. You want to be talking about vetting procedures. This looks like your DBS checks is what you will be needing, and ensuring that they are tailored to the service. So if you are catering to adults, then you'd have an adults DBS. If you're catering to children, it will be children. And if you're catering to both, you will have an enhanced DBS check that reflects both adults and children. You want to be looking at your staff training. So you'd have a staff training matrix. You want to be mentioning and looking at what trainings are mandatory, what trainings are nice to have, how you will really be developing this according to the needs of your clients. So if you have clients that have a particular need, and let's say your training or your mandatory training doesn't cover that particular need, that you're ensuring that you seek extra training to make sure that your staff are well trained and qualified to be able to cater to the needs of that client and or clients. So you really want to be able to discuss how you're going to manage staff ratios and ongoing professional development, which I just spoke about. In terms of identifying those training gaps or training needs, this can also then be linked into audits, can be linked into supervision and things of that nature. Okay. You want to be looking at care planning and delivery. So demonstrating how you're going to create these care plans. This is where things such as person-centered care, strength-based approaches, this is where those terms come into play. You want to be talking about liaising with family members, with other professionals, multidisciplinary working. You want to be ensuring that you're able to create holistic and support plans. You want to be taking into account people's preferences, dietary needs, religious needs, etc., etc. So you really want to be able to demonstrate this in the interview. Safeguarding. Of course, we are dealing with vulnerable people, vulnerable children. You want to be ensuring that your safeguarding policies and procedures are robust and that you understand them. But you need to understand not just what you do in your service, but how do you seek external support? Who do you report things to? Who do you go to in your local council? You need all that information. This information should be in your policies and procedures. And this is why I say if you have robust, comprehensive policies and procedures, all this information will be in there. And if you simply know those policies like the back of your hand, you're 80% of the way there. And just know that when we talk about safeguarding, we're not just talking about safeguarding our service users, but also safeguarding our staff who might be working with people with challenging behavior, people who might be aggressive. You know, a lot of our carers are lone workers, things of that nature. You really want to demonstrate not just how you're safeguarding the service users, the people that use your service, but also your staff and any other stakeholders that interact with your service. You want to be looking at complaints and explain how you manage complaints effectively, ensuring timely resolution and learning from feedback to improve your service. How do you gather feedback? We're looking at things such as surveys, reviews, things of that nature. And what do you do with that information when you get it? CQC don't expect you to be perfect. That's not what they're there for. And they know that nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. So there will be challenges. There will be mistakes. There will always be room for improvement, but they want to see you demonstrate a proactive understanding of this and how you move forward and take those lessons learned to continuously improve the service. Okay. So you want to demonstrate how you're going to track and evaluate the quality of care that's delivered. So like I mentioned, things such as audits, feedback, action plans, monitoring the performance of your staff, what that looks like, things like supervision, spot checks, things of that nature. Okay. The key questions are your interview guide. And the key questions are your service safe, effective, caring, responsive, and well led? For each of these areas, think about how your service meets these standards and come up with examples that you can share to back up your answers. So, for example, let's say safeguarding. Well, safeguarding, your policies and procedures and the things that you do with safeguarding will help to demonstrate how your service is safe, right? But in how you handle, let's say, a safeguarding concern can also demonstrate how responsive you are, how effective the service is, and how well led the service is. So in all of your answers, you really want to be pulling through the thread of the key questions. You want to be linking your answers to the key questions and the regulations. If you can do that, that's all that it takes. I myself am a registered manager. I've been through this process, so I understand it well. A lot of other consultants are not even in the business. They don't have care businesses that they run. They're not registered managers or have been registered managers. So a lot of their guidance is coming purely from a theoretical standpoint. However, I am currently a registered manager. So I understand not just the theory, but the practice. And I've been through this process personally, as well as supported other people through the process. So I understand it very well. And I'm saying, if you take nothing else from this video, it is this: know your policies and procedures like the back of your hand. Link those policies and procedures to the key questions and back it up with the regulations. Okay, so know the regulations, know your policies and procedures. You understand these two things, understand your policies and procedures, always use the key questions as a guide and link them with your regulations. So stay up to date with the regulations. Make sure that you are familiar with CQC's guidelines and the regulations, and ensure that you are knowledgeable and confident in what they are. I always suggest write the regulations down, think of the key questions, and basically link them all together on paper. Show how your service is safe, link them to the regulations and examples. If you do this, you learn that, you practice that, then you will feel a lot more confident in how you feel, and you will definitely feel more knowledgeable, and this will come across in your interview. So, common interview questions that you need to be aware of. How do you promote a safe environment? Discuss your approach to creating a safe environment for both staff and service users. This could include robust risk assessments, health and safety measures, and ongoing training to ensure compliance. Look at staff performance. How are you going to monitor staff performance? I mentioned earlier things such as spot checks, supervision. Highlight your methods for supervising and evaluating staff. Regular appraisals. How often will you have supervision? How often will you have appraisals? Performance reviews. How often will you have team meetings? Include how you address underperformance and encourage professional development. How do you identify these training gaps, and what do you do about it? Okay. You also want to look at how do you promote dignity and respect. So explain how your service ensures clients are treated with dignity and respect. This might involve personalized care plans, having clear communication, promoting independence where possible. So we're looking at person-centered care. We're looking at strength-based approach. As I said, we're looking at multidisciplinary working. We're looking at involving families and next of kin where appropriate in the care planning process. Okay. You want to look at how do you promote and provide holistic care for this person, all encompassing care. So multidisciplinary working, liaison with GPs and social workers, housing, voluntary organizations, day centers, etc., etc., etc. How do you, again, promote dignity and respect? We're looking at things such as consent, mental capacity, best interest decisions, things like this. Again, how do you ensure you meet regulatory standards? So share your strategies for staying compliant, including keeping up to date with regulations, conducting internal audits, implementing action plans to address issues. Other ways that you can stay abreast with regulatory standards, this might involve even simple things like attending events, workshops, the care show, things like this. So you're constantly updating your knowledge, making sure that you're staying abreast of current trends, current regulation. Next is you want to showcase your leadership skills. The CQC wants to see that you are a strong, well-led manager. So be prepared to discuss how you're going to motivate and support your staff, how you're going to ensure accountability within your service, your approach to professional development for yourself and your staff. So, like I just mentioned, things such as attending industry shows and events, for example. This is ensuring that you're staying abreast of things, ensuring you have a staff training matrix that you audit, you monitor to know when your skills, your training needs to be refreshed, updated, things of that nature. How do you motivate your staff? Things such as having an open door policy, promoting a culture of openness, honesty, support. We often talk about what to do when staff are not doing things correctly, but not a lot of emphasis often placed on how do we encourage, how do we compliment and praise our staff for a job well done. This can be simple things like maybe having a champion. If there's a staff that's doing something really well, championing that staff and having them take responsibility and feel proud of the fact that their efforts are being recognized. Okay. Promoting them. A lot of staff, a lot of people leave jobs not because they don't like the job. Oftentimes, people leave because they're unhappy with management. They're unhappy with the culture of the organization. And in our industry, staffing is a major issue. Retaining staff, getting quality staff is a big issue in our sector. So when you do have good staff, you do have quality staff, you do have staff that are motivated, it's very important that we value that staff and we try to hold on to them for as long as possible. It's important for people to feel valued. If you don't have staff, you don't have a business. So it's not just about catching staff out. We want to ensure that we support them when they need that support, and where they are succeeding, we highlight that, we promote that, and we make sure that we tell people well done, and that we really do highlight the value that they bring to the organization as much as possible where relevant. So these are the kind of things that CQC want to hear from you, and it demonstrates good leadership skills. You want to be honest as much as possible with CQC. And like I said, it's not about perfection. CQC know that you're not perfect, we're not perfect. In the areas in where the service needs to be improved or is still improving, acknowledge that. Don't mask it, don't hide it, okay? Highlight what you've already done. Highlight an awareness for your need to improve in certain areas. And if there are any action plans in place for ongoing improvement. The CQC really appreciates that honesty, and they appreciate a proactive attitude to learning. It's natural to feel nervous, okay? But remember, the CQC, they're not there to trip you up. They're not there to make you fail. They're there to ensure the safety and well-being of the people that you care for. So as long as you prepare thoroughly, take deep breaths, and approach the interview as an opportunity to showcase your dedication and expertise, you will shine and you will do well. You really just want to put your best foot forward. And the way that you will feel more confident is in being prepared. So whether that's with a mentor, with a consultant, like I said, going through your policies, linking them, making notes, all those sorts of things, the more prepared you are, the more confident you're going to feel. And that's going to really come across and shine in the interview process. So, speaking of preparation, I want to take this opportunity to let you know about a workshop that I'm going to be holding at the end of next month. So, this is a group workshop, of course, and it's limited spaces. I want to ensure that it's quite close knit, intimate, and people are able to get as much from the workshop and as much guidance and hands on support that I'm able to give during the session. I, of course, do one-to-one interview prep support if that's something you're interested in. But if you are maybe not able to afford that, or you want to engage in a group activity where you can share and mingle with like-minded people in the same position and learn from each other and have a very kind of interactive learning experience, then I would say that the registered manager workshop is going to be right for you. There are limited spaces available. I want to keep it small and value packed. So if you're interested, the link will be in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these tips help you feel more confident and ready for your CQC interview. Remember, preparation is key, and you've got this. Don't forget to join the waiting list for our registered manager workshop on the 28th of February. It's the perfect opportunity to take your preparation to the next level. Hit the subscribe button for more tips on growing your care business. Give us a like and drop a comment. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.